Hi everybody, Aaron from My Turbo Reviews here, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at the last of the Dark of the Moon Cyberverse figures that I picked up. I'd like to start off by taking a look at the Bumblebee vs. Starscream 4-pack that came in the box here. And I'll start off with the Starscreams. First up is the repaint of Starscream that we got from the 2007 and the Revenge of the Fallen movies. He's supposed to look like he's scanning his alt mode. That was the gimmick behind this box set. It comes with a gun too that he can hold, which is slight remolding. Not too shabby. Not my favorite Legends or Legion class figure. Okay, so next up is the other Starscream from the package, and that's a repaint of the Legends class Starscream we got from Transformer Cybertron. It's supposed to represent Starscream in his Cybertronian mode. To be quite honest, I kind of wish that they had repainted revealed the Shield Legends class Starscream instead of this one, but I guess you get what you get. Alright, so now on to the Bumblebees, and I'm going to start with a repaint that we got of the Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee. It's pretty neat because we got some clear pieces that are supposed to represent him scanning his Earth alt mode, and he comes with a gun that, if I remember correctly, is a repaint of the gun that comes with Machine Wars Megatron, which is interesting, if to say the least. Otherwise, it's just another Bumblebee figure, really. Then finally we come to the last figure, the second Bumblebee. This is obviously a repaint of the Classics 2.0 Bumblebee that we got several years ago, and to be quite honest, this is the reason why I picked up the 4-pack to begin with. Just another chance to get another repaint of this fantastic mold in my collection. Alright, so now let's take a look at the rest of the figures. I'm going to start off with the Decepticons and then move on to the Autobots. And first up is Starscream. Now, this is a completely different mold, brand new to the Dark of the Moon line, and it's pretty decent all around. It's got some nice markings here with this Decepticon symbol painted on his wing. He is that same gray as most of the other figures that I don't really care for. But here's a little comparison between him and the one that we got from Revenge of the Fallen. And next up, I'm going to go for Soundwave. This was a figure that a lot of people were anticipating, as it's our first look at the toy version of this guy. Still waiting for the deluxe. It's supposed to be released soon. And this guy's got the same gray. It's a little bit darker, actually, than the usual gray, but I'm just sick of looking at the gray on these movie figures. I wish they'd come up with a different color. And then finally, I've completed the 3 Dreads in Cyberverse form. Here's Crowbar, who reminds me quite a bit of Barricade from the first movie, and who actually made a cameo appearance in Dark of the Moon. One sticking point, though, is that, as you can see, his arms make up almost half the car itself, and that's something that I hope that they rectify if they ever make this guy into a deluxe class, which I'm hoping for. I'd really like to see that happen. And next up is Crankcase. I'm going to admit that this is not my favorite Cyberverse figure. He just doesn't hold together all that well. He definitely looks like the deluxe class, but his chest here doesn't peg into anything, and it's just floppy and loose. Again, not the best design-wise. And then rounding out the Decepticons is this guy here, Decepticon Hatchet. This is a fantastic, fantastic Commander class figure. Although I will say that he's not completely accurate to the movie. In robot mode he looks okay, but in his alt mode, well, the figure here turns into a jet, and the character in the movie changed into a ground vehicle. I can't remember if it was an SUV or a car, but it was definitely a ground vehicle. But I would say that this guy overall is my second favorite Decepticon commander class, right behind Megatron. Okay, now on to the Autobots. I'm going to start off with Sideswipe here. Sideswipe is a brand new mold, completely different than the one that we got in the Revenge of the Fallen line. He's accurate to his movie model in that he changes into a convertible version of the Stingray, just like the deluxe class figure does, but to be honest, I like him a lot better than the deluxe class. Next up, I'm going to take a look at Flak. Flak is an original character, and I think that Hasbro does a better job with some of these original figures than they do with figures based on movie models, because they have more liberty with them. He's got a bit more posability than some of these other guys, and overall I think he's a fantastic little toy. Probably my favorite of the Autobot Legion class figures, and definitely a pickup if you can find them in your area. Okay, next up is Roadbuster. And Roadbuster is a pretty decent little toy. He completes my 3 wreckers in Cyberverse form, and I have to say that unlike the deluxe class, his alt mode features all the metal armor and weaponry that we saw in the movie, whereas the deluxe class is kind of just a plain NASCAR track car. And last, but certainly not least, is Autobot Guzzle. This guy is an homage to the G1 Sparkabot of the same name, and it's a fantastic little toy. I know that he gained a little bit of popularity during last year's Last Stand of the Wreckers miniseries from IDW Comics, and that's probably Hasbro's thought behind doing an updated version of him, but for whatever reason we got him, I'm glad. This is probably my favorite of all the Commander class figures that I own. Well, everybody, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed this quick look at the rest of the Dark of the Moon Cyberverse figures that I hadn't showcased in my first 2 videos. And on that note, I'd just like to say, keep on keeping on.